You've probably come across this video because you know someone who abruptly stopped communicating with you and left you with no obvious explanation. You replayed the last conversation in your head over and over again and can't quite put your finger on what was said that caused them to stop communicating with you. Well, if that's you, in this video, we're going to be uncovering how and why the narcissist uses the silent treatment to control their friends, partners, employees, coworkers, etc. Understanding narcissistic patterns can help you tremendously in dealing with this form of emotional abuse. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. Now, let's get straight to the video. The silent treatment is the refusal to communicate in any form with someone who is open to be communicated with. Now, let's draw a line in the sand. Everyone who stops communicating with you is not a narcissist. I'll give you a couple of examples of the silent treatment that would be considered normal behavior. Let's say you have a toddler who's throwing a tantrum because you won't give in to their demands. They want a snack, but it's dinner time. You may give them the silent treatment for a short period until their attitude improves to teach them a lesson that throwing a tantrum is not going to get them what they want. Once the tantrum resolves, you start responding to show them that you only respond to good behavior and actual communication, not temper tantrums. Another example may be you are in a romantic relationship and you have a disagreement. You tell your partner that you need some space and some time alone to sort out your thoughts. After you've had some time to sort out your feelings, you have a two-way conversation about your feelings and the best way to move forward to resolve the problem. You've set the expectation, communicated the problem, and set a plan for a resolution. This is normal. With the narcissist, on the other hand, it's a completely different story. In a narcissistic relationship, the silent treatment is used as a form of emotional abuse or control. There are several different reasons a narcissist may deploy the silent treatment. The first reason, and in no particular order, is as a form of punishment. Narcissists are notorious for invoking the silent treatment as a form of punishment. A lot of times, it comes out of the blue and happens for any reason. They typically won't communicate to you what has offended them and will cut you off without a moment's notice. You probably won't even know you've been cut off until you attempt to make contact and your calls and other attempts to reach out go unanswered. One thing about a narcissist is they can ignore a phone call like no other. I don't care how many times the phone rings, they can literally sit right there and not answer it, which fuels their need for attention. They will likely also unfriend you or block you on social media. If you do happen to accidentally get them on the phone or run into them while you're being punished with the silent treatment, they will be short and abrupt, but again, they will most likely never tell you that anything is wrong. You see, narcissists are very sensitive to criticism, so if you said something to slight their fragile ego, they can ignore you forever, depending on how deep the narcissistic injury has dug into their ego. They'll have you apologizing for a comment you didn't even realize bothered them. When and if they decide to communicate again, they will likely never tell you what was said that offended them in the first place. Next, maybe you set a boundary. Narcissists hate boundaries, and if you set one they don't like, they may counterattack with the silent treatment. This is a form of control, controlling you to change your mind. What typically happens is you set a boundary and they stop communicating, then your focus shifts to the fact that they are no longer speaking to you, not the fact that you set a boundary. After some time, you forget about your boundary and you're more concerned with getting the narcissist to respond to you. If they ever start speaking to you again, you won't dare mention your boundary because you don't want to cause any issues and you want to keep the peace in your relationship. Now they have you right where they want you. You'll think twice before suggesting another boundary. Another reason is they're bored with the relationship. Narcissists have a tendency to get easily bored with relationships. Enacting the silent treatment can give them the opportunity to get some attention. Good attention or bad attention, it's all the same. The process of you reaching out relentlessly fuels their need for attention. If they like your reaction and the attention they get, they will probably routinely employ the silent treatment as a control mechanism. They want to get you to the point where you will fear losing the ability to communicate with them again. Before you know it, you'll be perfectly trained to walk on eggshells, avoiding anything that would cause this unwarranted punishment. Another reason to employ the silent treatment is as an avoidance mechanism, to not be questioned about one of their lies or to get out of doing something they promised they would do. For instance, you may have just found out that the narcissist has lied about something serious like where they work. You have solid information that proves they don't work where they told you they did, so you present them with this information and you want answers. The narcissist may abruptly get off the phone or leave depending on where the communication is taking place. After they're gone, they invoke the silent treatment. They may disappear for several days, weeks, or even several months. It really doesn't matter because by the time they get back, you're no longer thinking about the job they lied about. You're thinking about their well-being, what happened, is everything okay? When they finally reach back out to you, you'll have 100 questions, but none of them are about the job they previously lied to you about. You're just relieved that they're okay. Once everything settles down and you do ask them about the job again, they will have had time to think of an excuse that probably doesn't make much sense but satisfies you for the time being, or if you press too hard, they may just invoke the silent treatment again, causing you to tread lightly like the well-oiled machine they are creating. Another reason the narcissist employs a silent treatment is not so silent, and I say this because while they may be silent with you, they are definitely entertaining someone else. They typically employ this type of silent treatment by starting a disagreement with you. By this time, you may be onto their game, so you decide you're not going to feed into it, and you don't make the endless calls to them trying to make contact. You may feel like you're giving them a taste of their own medicine. If that's you, well, think again, because the narcissist is always one step ahead of you. While you may think that they are at home remorseful because of how they treated you, they are not. They are out grooming their next supply. This disagreement was meticulously timed so that they would have the time to set the stage for their next relationship. And you, having already been through several silent treatments by this time, inadvertently have given them the time and freedom they need to secure their next victim. How do you combat the silent treatment? Again, your biggest defense is educating yourself on narcissism. Healthy disagreements between two adults should be diffused by healthy communication. The silent treatment is emotional abuse. Having someone stop communicating with you every time there is a disagreement and then choosing to come back whenever they feel like it is unhealthy, stressful, and toxic. It's stressful because most times it's so sudden you're not sure what happened. Your mind goes from confused to angry to worried to scared, back to worried. You may be in a constant state of confusion. Did you do something wrong? It's unhealthy because you start to become accustomed to this emotional abuse to the point that you may become trauma bonded, which occurs as the result of ongoing cycles of abuse in which the intermittent reinforcement of reward and punishment creates powerful emotional bonds that are resistant to change. It's toxic because healthy relationships are formed by healthy communication and healthy boundaries. The silent treatment is not healthy, it's immature. The silent treatment alone does not necessarily indicate that you're dealing with a narcissist. But if you are, then you must recognize it and understand that their behavior will not change. So back to how to fight it, understanding is key. Look at the patterns. If you know their actions before they act on them, then it will better prepare you to come up with a counterattack. That counterattack may be as simple as trying not to get your emotions involved, especially if you know already that they are playing a game with your feelings. Setting healthy boundaries and sticking with them. Also, recognizing the motives of people who don't have your best interest in mind. Asking yourself, how does breaking your boundary benefit the person who is mad that you have boundaries? If you're finding that the silent treatment is being deployed as an avoidance mechanism to a lie that they've told, you have to ask yourself, why are they lying? What happens if they lie again? What else could they be lying about? Is this really someone you want to deal with? Is this really someone who wants to deal with you? It may be time to cut ties. Lastly, if they are starting disagreements to employ the silent treatment to start a new relationship, then your best defense is probably just to let them go. It will obviously hurt and it won't be easy, but the peace you'll get after they're gone will be worth it in the long run. At this point, you would have to decide if this is something you are willing to deal with. If you're truly dealing with someone with narcissistic personality disorder, they will not get better, especially without treatment, which most don't believe they need, and even with treatment, they may improve slightly, if at all, but it will never completely go away. If you're dealing with a narcissist, my best tip is to learn as much as you can about this disorder to better prepare yourself for the ups and downs of this interaction. Also, subscribe to my channel so you can continue to get videos as it pertains to narcissism. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.